fun. Hey, I'm Nate Savage, and if you want to skip ahead to the playing examples, there are more in this video. They're timestamped below for you. Now, you may not think it from the content on the Guitar Fam YouTube channel and website, but I'm really into heavy music. I love metal. And for the last, I don't know, year and a half, I've been really exploring a lot of modelers and things like that, and I've just come to peace with the idea that I like external analog drive pedals, right? I like to go into a clean tone and to get all my drive from drive pedals, and I've been doing a lot of horse trading, buying, selling of pedals to find out all the drive pedals that I like and kind of have on my board. And I've got everything nailed down except for the really high gain pedal. I've got my clean boost, you know, light gain, moderate gain, all the way up to fairly mid to moderate gain. But that space for the really heavy stuff, it just wasn't there. So I've been really deep diving on a lot of gear reviews, you know, comments, forums, things like that, just to see what's out there, because it's been a while since I've been into this kind of pedal game. And one pedal that kept coming up was the heavy Menace from Empress. And it just sounded crushing in all the videos that I saw online. And I'll tell you, it sounds awesome for heavy stuff. And I thought to myself, well, Empress is a Canadian company. I'm in Canada. I'll just hit them up and see if they will send me one so I can check it out. And they ended up doing it. So thanks, Empress, for sending this pedal. Now, what I usually do is I like to get a nice soaring, really smooth lead tone from either this Angry Charlie or what I've had on my board for like the past, I don't know, 15, more than that, 20 years, is a tube screamer. It's a regular TS 808 or a 9 into a full tone OCD. And that's been my lead, really saturated lead tone for the past 20 years. The Angry Charlie is just the past few years. But I wanted to see if I could get a 2-for-1 and see if this thing, the Heavy Menace, could do the same thing or get close to the same thing as the Angry Charlie for really smooth lead tones. And that's kind of the point of this video, at least for me, is to just show you how awesome this is for just being able to plug straight into it and just get a really crushing heavy metal sound. And maybe we'll see also get a really nice soaring lead sound too. We'll compare it a lot to the Angry Charlie throughout this, just like you saw in the playing example up front. Here's another one. And real quick here, the rig that I'm playing through is just the pedals straight into a Tonex pedal. I'm using an XOG Lone Star model. It's very clean, and I'll show you that later. But the pedals right into that, and any effects you hear are done through Helix Native. Any reverbs or delays like that are done through Helix Native, just in Logic. All right, there's one more rhythm guitar playing example for you. I thought it was important to include that one because the mids are so different. The Alice in Chain Tunes has the mids cranked. The first King's X song had the mids really cut or scooped out. I've got one more for you for rhythm guitar before we get into some lead guitar tones. And I'm just gonna put it on a looper so I can turn some knobs here. Both are set, you know, almost everything's at noon. The level's compensated for to make them more or less the same. Here you go. Clean. Menace. Very, very different. So different in fact that you might think that these two pedals don't have much overlap, but when you start tweaking them, particularly the Angry Charlie, and get pretty extreme with your settings, it gets closer than you might think, both for rhythm and lead stuff. Here, let's turn that on again. And flat for this one. Charlie, you have to scoop a lot of the mids out. A lot of treble. A little more gain. Way closer than I thought this could get to that. Now, as far as this one, let me put that loop back on and just go through some of the mids for you so you can see how powerful these mid controls are here. If I wanted to boost them, not something you would necessarily do for this style of music, right? But that brings me to kind of an important point. For the mid controls on this one, I found that moderate settings seem to work the best, somewhere between 10 o'clock maybe and 2 o'clock for the mid sweep, and then same for the level of the mids too. That's where I found it to be the most useful as far as tones go. Now, the two biggest differences between these pedals to me, obviously level of gain, this has a little bit more, but the two biggest differences are the character of the mids. This one is way more round and warm. This one is just, because of the edge on top, I think that you notice it less on this one, but it is, for this type of pedal, a single spaced high gain drive pedal. It's extremely versatile, and I found really fun to play. And we'll get into that more when we talk about the lead tones. But the other thing I found the most different was the treble. I found myself for the Menace wanting a presence knob so I could turn the presence down a little bit. So what I ended up doing was a lot of the time I ended up just backing off my tone knob, or if you have an amp or a model or whatever you're using for your amp with a presence knob, that's more ideal. I think that's kind of the sound I'm looking for there. And that sounds awesome to me. Just a little bit of that edge off, but I don't always want the edge off. Most of the time I don't, as a matter of fact. When I'm doing lead stuff, that's where it really comes into play. Okay, and opposite thing, when I had the Angry Charlie on doing those kind of tones, I found myself wanting a presence knob to boost the presence a little bit. So as long as you're aware of that, and you're going to either be backing off, in my opinion, backing off your tone knob on your guitar, or boosting or cutting the presence on whatever amp you're using, whatever model you're using. Those are the biggest differences between these pedals to me. They're kind of two opposite sides of the coin as far as the high end goes. Okay, let's get into some lead tones. This is kind of the main point of this video as far as I'm concerned. I've got some more delay and stuff on here just to give it some more ambience. The Angry Charlie, let me just set this kind of back to a neutral setting. When you turn this on, the mids are very broad and round, like I mentioned before, and that's great for really smooth lead tones. And the rollback on the presence, or the lack of high end on it, is another thing that I think is really great for really soaring lead tones. I'm gonna crank the gain a little bit there. Right? So I was really wondering, how close can I get to that with the Heavy Menace? And let's just set it flat again. Yeah, it's flat, and I'll take the level down a little bit to match. And right away, that's a lot sharper, right? This is sharp, this is round. That's the basics of these pedals. So what I had to do, let me turn that up a little bit. I took a little bit of the high end out, and then I backed off of the tone knob on my guitar a little bit too, but I also wanted to crank the mids a little bit to give me some of that roundness. And what I did to do is I just cranked the mids, and then I swept the mids there until I got what I wanted, then I backed off. And maybe I'm gonna take a little bit of the low end out too. Yeah. And that's pretty close. It depends on, like I said, it depends. This is rounder, but it depends what gig I'm going to. If I'm playing some more aggressive music, I'll probably take this. If I'm playing something that's not quite so aggressive, but I need some really strong lead tones, I might take that. It just depends, but I got closer for the lead stuff on this than I thought it would, and closer on the rhythm stuff for what I like than I thought it would for, you know, my tastes in music and for what I would be doing. So I got one more lead playing example for you. I'm just gonna play a bit of one of my favorite Sean Lane songs called The Way It Has to Be. And this is kind of the tone on this album, or on that song in particular, is what I think of when I think of a soaring electric guitar, a really saturated lead tone. So give it a listen, see which one you like better. Let me know in the comments what you think of them, or let me know what are your favorite really high gain lead pedals for this type of really sustainy, soaring lead tones. All right, thanks for watching, and thanks again to Empress for sending out the Heavy Menace. If you like heavy music, this pedal is pretty addictive. You just plug straight in with any kind of moderate setting, and you are instantly in chug land, and you can dial in some pretty sweet lead tones too. Let me know in the comments below what other pedals you might like to see on the channel. I know this is kind of a departure from the videos that we normally do, but it was a lot of fun. And if you haven't yet, go to guitarfam.com and create your complimentary account. You'll be able to access the first module of all of our premium courses. See you.